Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Guillermo Lopez making my Week 10 picks. They let me out of the garage. Not only that, I get to sit in my chair. Nice, comfortable, big chair. Good for me. I put on Facebook earlier. Sorry, this video is coming in so late. My parents are in from Fresno, from out of town. I've been driving around, showing them a good time, doing all that stuff. So the video is coming in late. I had put on Facebook earlier that I picked Washington to beat Minnesota, and currently late in that game, Minnesota is up 31-27. So that's probably my first loss on Thursday Night Football this week. I'm a little bummed out about that. Next game we have is Oakland 3-5 at the New York Football Giants 2-6. Wow, I'm a proud Raider fan, but geez Louise, that was just all hard to watch, man. That was rough stuff. I even got the okay to go down to Buffalo Wild Wings and check out the game, have some beers down there on my own, and I came back at halftime because it was just no bueno. The Raiders gave up 7 touchdowns to Nick Foles. He's tied an NFL football record. Eli Manning, I think, licking his chops a little bit, and this might be the game where he actually has more touchdowns than interceptions. So we're going to take New York Football Giants at home in that one. Seattle 8-1 at Atlanta 2-6. I really think that Seattle's primed for an upset. They almost got upset at home last week against Tampa Bay. This is a team that does not traditionally travel well across the into different time zones, flying all the way from Seattle. But at 2-6, Atlanta is just not the team to get it done. Matt Ryan has 7 interceptions in the last 2 games. And I think Seattle's going to keep rolling here, but starting to get a little. They got to feed Marshawn Lynch, man. My wife hates it when I complain about how the Seattle runs their offense, but they really got to feed Marshawn Lynch. Stop getting too tricky. They're a pass-first offense right now, and they get a little stagnant in the red zone, and yada 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 yada. I take Seattle to win. Sorry, babe. Next we have Detroit 5-3 and Chicago 5-3. Even though Chicago looked really good on Monday Night Football, even though Josh McCown was capable and stepped in, they should have Jay Cutler back, and they are at home. I'm going to take Detroit in this game. I think Detroit is going to attack Chicago much the way that Green Bay did on Monday Night Football. I think they're going to run the ball right down their throat. In the last game they had, Reggie Bush had 18 attempts for 139 yards and a touchdown. Big game against him. I think that's the way it's going to go. Now look how professional I am right here. I'm not even averting my eyes over here to look at my notes. I remember that fact, and I'm giving it right to you. Eyes straight into the camera, baby. Woo! All right, next game we have Philadelphia 4-5 at Green Bay 5-3. I am looking this time. Nick Foles, like I said, 7 touchdowns last time. Green Bay Packers have about the 20th ranked passing defense against yard, number 19 against scoring. And I expect that offense to be a little bit smoother now with the full week of practice for Seneca Wallace. They are at home. That's another good thing going for them. But if Nick Foles is able to keep his mechanics solid, then he will definitely tear apart that Green Bay defense. He throws the ball to Riley Cooper, gets him a little bit more involved. Still got Deshaun Jackson. He's throwing to his tight ends. Throwing to everybody. The guy was throwing all over the place. He ripped up Tampa Bay. He had a poor fundamental game against the Giants. Got hurt. Came back strong against the Raiders. I think it's going to continue at Green Bay. Next we have Jacksonville 0-8 at Tennessee 4-4. No Justin Blackmon. Suspended. What a POS that guy is. Jeez Louise. Just throwing everything away. So young, so talented. Doesn't even respect himself. Doesn't respect the game, which is too bad because Jacksonville had actually started to look pretty decent lately. But Tennessee has found a little bit of a way to get Chris Johnson the ball, and at home I expect them to get the victory. So I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans on that one. Next we have St. Louis 3-6 at Indianapolis 6-2. Life without Reggie Wayne, man. It looked really horrible the first half of that game against Houston, but they were able to find something down deep, and Andy Luck was able to open up the offense a little bit through 3 touchdowns to T.Y. Hilton in the game. They were able to get the victory. I've been picking them out a lot this year, and some of my friends, Mr. Bunuelos is one of them, really didn't think that the Colts were going to do that well, that they're going to have a little bit of a slump playing a tougher schedule. But they have victories against the 49ers, victory against the Seahawks. Watch out for the Colts, man. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make some noise. I'll take them in the victory. And next we have Buffalo 3-6 at Pittsburgh 2-6. Oof, jeez Louise. This is as bad as watching this Oregon-Stanford game I'm watching right now. Really feel bad for the people that are stuck watching that game. My thoughts on it are that pretty much pride has to step in at some point for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're a good, tough team. They're probably better than their record indicates. When you play poorly, though, this is what happens. I just hope that they feed the ball to Le'Veon Bell, give him about 25-30 attempts, rushing against that 30th ranked Buffalo defense. That's the way to attack them. Buffalo may not have E.J. Manuel and Toole. We saw, they were winning that game against Kansas City last week, and he just wasn't able to get it done. I'll take Pittsburgh in that one. It's a pride game for Pittsburgh. Next we have Cincinnati 6-3 at Baltimore 3-5. I think if Cincinnati gets back on track here, this is kind of like a meeting of two hands, I guess. I've been picking Cincinnati consistently to win. I've been picking Baltimore consistently to lose. And you look at Cincinnati. They had won 4 games in a row before they were embarrassed last week on Thursday Night Football against Miami Dolphins Halloween game. I expect them fully to come back out against a divisional rival, reassert themselves, and throw all over the place. Hopefully to AJ Green. Next we have Carolina 5-3 at San Francisco 6-2. I really think this is a good, tough matchup for both teams. Carolina's won 4 games in a row. You have the 49ers who've been rolling since they lost to Seattle and not really haven't been tested at all, but here they get a good matchup at home. Like I said, Carolina has won 4 games in a row, but those 4 games have been against the Vikings, the Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Falcons. Doesn't really say much. Should be a good, tough game, but I'm going to take the 49ers at home in that one. Next we have Houston 2-6 at Arizona 4-4. Can Case Keenum continue his mojo? That team was rolling. Their coach goes down, has a little mini stroke at halftime of the game, totally sucks the life out of the team. They're a little bit lost. They allowed the Colts to come back and win that game. So you might think, hey, Case Keenum's the answer. He's an exciting young guy. But don't sleep on Arizona. They have scored over 20 points in their last 4 games. Again, eye contact. I'm looking at my stats. Eye contact. So I'm going to take Arizona in that game to win. Next we have Denver 7-1 at San Diego 4-4. Hey, Denver's going to win. Yes, they are, but not so easy, my friend. San Diego should be mad, should come up a little bit. They have the offense that can match Denver for a while in this game. But you look at the turmoil that the Broncos are facing right now. Their coach is also hospitalized, John Fox. And then you have Ryan Moffitt, one of their linemen, stepping away from the game, just retiring too. I'm not sure if he was motivated by what's happening with John Fox. Maybe reassessed his priorities in life. But that's a team that, if they're playing a different squad, maybe they would be ripe for the upset, but can't really, you got Peyton Manning, man. You got to go with Peyton Manning. Next we have Dallas 5-4 at the Saints 6-2. Probably a lot closer matchup, a good matchup despite the records on these teams. But I just think that the Saints at home want to rebound strong. Sunday Night Football primetime game, rebound strong from that loss to the Jets. Drew Brees is going to go ape, all over the place. And Dallas has a pretty solid defense, but they have been caught up in some blowout games. They had a squeak by against a Minnesota team, which I guess now is showing some life that I haven't really seen from them before. Take New Orleans in that game. Super duper fantasy football players. Play everybody you got. Even play Lance Moore, play Jason Witten, DeMarco Murray, play all those dudes. They're all going to score and go off. Next we have Miami 4-4 at Tampa Bay 0-8 Monday Night Football game. I'm going to pick Tampa Bay in that game. Tampa Bay showed some life last week against a Seattle Seahawks team that, like we talked about, that maybe needed a little wake-up call. And just all the stuff that's going on with Miami right now, you really just can't imagine that team pulling it together and winning. Some horrible stuff coming out of there. If I could just speak for a second to them, I know I'm really going over my time allotment. Your attention span is fading quickly, but just a really unfortunate situation what's happening there. Kind of like a definition of a man. What does it take to be a man? What does it take to be strong? The way I have interpreted the information I've gotten is just there's no way that Incognito just I can't imagine Incognito being that much of an a-hole to just come in there and do his own thing. I think the management said, hey, toughen up this kid. Went about it all the wrong way. Stuff has surfaced now about Martin's agent contacting the GM and him saying, well, tell your client to punch Incognito. Like that's the answer. Just a horrible, awful situation. And I think a lot of us are kind of rooting for Tampa Bay to beat the Dolphins and for a lot of those people in that organization to get fired because, say what you want. It is a team. It is a macho sport, but it's a business. It's a workplace. And if you're not comfortable in your workplace, something has to be done. Imagine if you went to your job and you went to HR and said, hey, this guy's over here bugging me. He's hassling me. He's always on my case. And HR says, well, just punch him. Then he'll stop. It doesn't work like that. So recapping my picks: Washington, New York Football Giants, Seattle, Detroit, Philly, Tennessee, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, San Francisco, Arizona, Football Cardinals, Denver, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend. Peace out.